Hey, it's a Feel Good Friday.
Well, we got some viewers already. I love Feel Good Friday.
That's what it's all about. Welcome back. Billy was on vacation down in Jamaica. So, dude, brand new year, brand new attitude, brand new tan for you. I mean, of course, man. I'm still whitest man in America, but I mean, that's what we do. We're like an interracial couple over here.
Ebony and Ivory.
So tell us about Jamaica. How was it, man?
Man, Jamaica is really, really cool. It's one of the, I've been twice. Mm-hmm. We went 8 years ago, April and I. That's where we got married at. And when we were there, we really wanted to, we enjoyed it, of course. It was awesome. But like we really wanted to be able to bring our kids because there's so many cool things. There's things you can do in Jamaica that you just can't do in the United States. And what I mean by that, there's places that like Margaritaville that are 3 stories tall and they have like a 100-foot slide that shoots you out into the Caribbean Sea, okay? And very deep water. You can see 30 feet down to the bottom. And they have trampolines out there. They have bounce houses. They have things that you can climb up out in the ocean in the waves.
Pretty cool.
And then you have to swim back, say 50 yards back to the porch where there's a ladder, much like getting out of a pool. But it's slick, man. It's got moss growing on it, and it's just like you could never get away with it in the United States.
So I know that you and I rarely use a rating of a 10. Mm-hmm. When you're rating on a scale of 1 to 10. How would you rate your Jamaican trip this go around?
So we can compartmentalize it, but overall, man, it was an 8.
Good.
It was an 8. And
kids have a good time?
Absolutely. Yep. It was tough. There's so many things, man. I mean, this is a New Year's show. We can break it down, guys. You want to hang around on this show because I think there's so many things. I think we could go long today.
We could.
Yep.
We could go long.
Since we're on the subject of Jamaica, I want to talk about, by the way, we're going to talk about some very important things and about New Year's and the years past and the years coming up and some things to help you. This is Feel Good Friday.
Yep.
If April is watching, or Cooper or Case or Felipe, text them and tell them to bring the champagne. It is New Year's. We're going to celebrate on Feel Good Friday.
Gotcha.
Okay, but Jamaica, man.
I was going to get Red Stripe and I couldn't get. They didn't have it here in town.
Really? That's all they have in Jamaica. But man, the people in what they call so I highly recommend going to Jamaica. If you go to the website or you type in travel to Jamaica, it's going to tell you a million reasons why you should not go to Jamaica. Safety from like crime, high crime, all types of bad. I mean, it gets really bad when you look on there.
Scary sometimes.
Yeah, and even the safety protocols for the coronavirus, which is very safe. Let me tell you what they got right. When you get off the plane, they come up to you. If it matters, if your hands are sanitized, Jamaica has it right.
Okay.
Because everywhere you go, you walk in, the first thing they do, they're going to spray you down. They're going to spray you down and watch you wipe your hands down. And of course, you have to wear a mask. So, if sanitizing and wearing a mask matters, it's very safe to go to Jamaica. Yeah. Now, then they have what they call the Resilient Corridor, which is Montego Bay, and I think it's 1A is the name of the highway that goes down to Ocho Rios, which, by the way, that by itself is a must. Paul, you have to, while you're young, I know I don't call you young very much.
Boy, I better hurry.
You have to go to Ocho Rios and you have to do the Dunn River Falls.
Okay.
That is a 10 out of 10. It is the most beautiful thing that I've ever done, other than, in some ways, much better. The Grand Canyon was awesome, right? But the Dunn River Falls, you are in a jungle, and it's 1,000-foot climb from the beach. You're standing in the Caribbean Ocean in crystal clear blue, all those colors. April can give you the color better description than me, but it's beautiful blue colors, white sand, and a waterfall that's flowing out onto this beach.
Sounds beautiful.
And it is, you climb up the rocks. I guess I don't want to get it wrong. Granted, some type of rocks. You're climbing up them, and it is ice cold because it's a spring.
Yeah.
It's a spring river, and you climb up these things, very, very hard things to climb up. And, some of it's easy, some of it's hard. But then once you get, 100 foot up, you realize, you look around, you're in a jungle. You're in a real life jungle. Vines, coming out of the side of the mountain, out of the soil, the trees, and you use those to climb to climb up the sides. And it's just we did it the first time I was there. But again, I think the anxiety of not having our kids with us, and kind of a little bit of, can't have too good of a time because you're like, man, by the way, just proves that life is better enjoyed with people.
Correct.
Meaningful relationships. That's it, man. So the fact that we were able to take 8 of our loved ones with us to experience climbing that river, climbing that rock waterfall, top 5 things I've ever done in my life.
You and I talk about so much. We have our families, we have our work families, we have extended families, friends that become really like family, and it's so important that you include people, in your life, whether it's, you would love to take all your loved ones like you had the opportunity to go to take them all to Jamaica. Well, not all of them, not everybody, your extended family, or you just certainly didn't take your work family. Just saying. But I
think I'd take y'all to our sponsor down in Fernandina.
That's right. I'm waiting.
The Million
so it's a new year, so we're gonna plan this time around.
Yes.
But in all seriousness, families is so important. And again, your work family becomes your family, your neighbors and friends become your family. So it's so important that you spend time with those people. With COVID, I think it made people kind of realize how important human contact is, being around other people instead of being isolated, things like that. Speaking of which, by the way, my little nieces, my great nieces, Zoe and Mackenzie are watching. Hi, Zoe. I'm Mackenzie. So they're watching with my sister Barb. They just,
Mackenzie, Zoe.
I miss
Nice
them.
to meet you.
I missed them at Christmas.
Yeah,
I didn't
really?
go. Yeah, I didn't go because the whole travel thing, it was
Yeah.
just a pain in the neck. My mom was, she couldn't, she's in assisted living, place or whatever. So she couldn't come out, or if she did, then she had to go back in quarantine and I couldn't see her. So I just decided to wait until hopefully maybe things will improve. But my point was that, spending time with people, is so important. And we talk about, or I should say everybody talks about New Year's resolutions. So I wanted to kind of change that.
Okay.
And bring that to 2021 goals.
Yes.
So I'm not using the word resolutions.
Okay.
I want to use 2021 goals, and I want other people to do that too. What you think?
That's perfect. That's awesome. As a matter of fact, I wanted to do that. Jonesy Jones says, let's roll. Let me tell you something. This could be a long show. This could be a long show, Paul. It's going to be good stuff though, guys. You don't want to miss it. Tell you about Jonesy Jones. Okay.
He's the man.
He is the man. He used to work with us, and he had an opportunity to stay home, be closer to home, and go into an industry that he's never been in before, selling metal buildings. And he just had the best year of his life. And he messaged me right before the show and said that he's giving all these people who are buying metal buildings all the information they need using the art of text message selling. And so, man, so I want to talk about money and goals and what you said right there. And it's not what you think. Okay. So Paul and Jamie, he's my producer right here. Felipe, I heard him back there talking. They have heard me and been around me, and you guys are family, right? And I talk so much about money and making more money and getting your money right.
Right.
Okay. It's because it's important. But listen, this is so much more important. Okay. Now, the reason I do that, because so many people don't understand that it's very important. So I'm like, you got to wake up and understand that it's so important. You have to get after it. You have to get your money right. But I don't use the why. Why are you doing it? Probably enough because it's so cliche. And I try not to sound like cliches, but cliches they're a cliche for a reason.
That's right.
So it's not about the money. It's about, to me, and everybody's can be different, but it's about doing meaningful work with people I care about. And that creates a family. Like when I was going to Jamaica, Felipe stayed at my house to protect the house and to take care of JJ. You know what I'm saying?
Who's part of the family.
Absolutely. So, and it is about doing meaningful work. We have developed a process that works so well that Jonesy Jones took it into a business that didn't use the art of text message selling. It had the best year of his life
and proved that it works.
So, in 2020, we have developed a lot of new friendships. We do talk about our network a whole lot, but we don't network with people just to get their money. At least we shouldn't.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Some people will attach themselves to you to just get the money because they are in it for themselves. And I hope that you understand, and Felipe and Jamie and everybody, I know Jonesy Jones does. We talk about this all the time. It is about doing meaningful work. What we do for car dealers, man, so many people, Happy New Year, Debbie. What we do for car dealers helps them so much. And to be able to do that with a group of great people, that's like the best thing all. We have to have the money to make it all work.
Exactly.
It doesn't work without the money.
Right.
But to be able to do it and help people is the most important thing. So sorry, I know you were kind of going.
No. I mean, I just wanted to bring that up, that family is important. And you're right. In order for me to go visit my family, you have to have money, and to get money, you got to work hard. We're going to rehash a little bit. Now, that's what people do on New Year's. They kind of look back. They take a look at, at the years past and look at their successes. They look at their failures, how they can change, but we do. You have to sacrifice. You got to work hard. You got to keep training continuously. It amazes me, as successful as you've been with this business, that you still continue to train. It really does. I mean, it amazes me because most people would just sit back and be like, I got this. I got this. Yeah. But you're constantly training too. So you're not just, talking the talk. I mean, you're walking the walk. And that's a big thing for me. I've always said that. I'm like, there's a lot of, talk the talkers, but there's not a whole lot of walk the walkers, type of people.
I'm looking at my notes. I'm not being rude. Okay. Yep. Because what you're pointing out there is, I was taking notes on our plane trip down there. I'm training. I'm listening to material that's going to help us. And it's just so many things that, are important. And, training is essential, and I train because I know it makes you better. And, so many of our followers do the same thing. That's why they're watching. Hopefully they're going to pick up on something that'll help them.
Absolutely. By the way, they haven't commented yet, but I wanted to at least send out a few shout outs, just a few of our ninjas. We have so many of them, so I can't name them all by name. I'd probably forget a few of them and I hurt some of their feelings, but a couple of them, I know that Brooklyn and Samantha were doing extra training.
Really?
Yeah. Extra training over the holidays.
Really?
I mean, think about that. People, you got some time off,
for the
holidays, you can spend time with your family. It does.
I
would know. Doing extra training. So to me, I'm like, I wanted to, throw that out, that Samantha and Brooklyn doing some extra training, Dee Dee and Peyton and
awesome.
And Casey. I mean, a bunch of our crew, when they could be, laying on the couch, eating bonbons, watching, movies, whatever, that type of thing. They're taking the time to use that wisely and train. So, I mean, it's important stuff.
I did not know Dusty Rhodes was watching.
That's my buddy from school.
Really?
Yeah, from high school. I've known him for a long time.
Coolest name you can have.
It is.
Hey, do you know that New Year's is second to Thanksgiving? My favorite holiday.
I did not know that.
New Year's Day. Do you know why?
Please tell me it's not the Black Eyed Peas.
No, it's not the Black Eyed Peas. They do have good music though. Black Eyed Peas. However, you're already proving why it's my favorite holiday, because what do you want to talk about today?
Goals.
See, so New Year's Day is the only day of the year when the entire country is listening to Billy, writing down your goals, thinking about your goals. That just is proof that it's very important.
Well, and I did want to, as I mentioned, some of the ninjas that were doing extra training, we wanted to take some time training. Not just training, but for our ninjas, as well as our families, friends, and everybody is watching. And if you replay this video, we're talking about you too, is that here's the opportunity. It's a brand new year. Yeah. Start fresh.
Yes.
Write your goals down. What are you doing right now? Stop. Grab a pen. You can do it on your phone. I know you hate that on your phone.
Well, but I don't hate it, but
I still do that. Billy likes to, pen to paper. And so this morning, wrote my goals down.
Did you?
So, hey, I'm 100% for this year.
Awesome.
I mean, I'm on it. So people need to stop what they're doing, write their goals down. Dusty Rhodes, my buddy, write your goals down. And my sister, Barb Sullivan Thurlby. My niece, Amy Strasburger, who's out there, who, by the way, she said that she can fit in a suitcase everywhere we go.
Cool.
So maybe we can bring her to Georgia. She can be on the show.
Hey, those of you who are watching, CJ,
Cindy
CJ.
and TJ.
TJ, Dusty, Jonesy, Debbie, Barb, Amy, Joan, all of you who are watching, tell us a goal, if you will, that you achieved in 2020. So many people are hating on 2020 so hard. man, it's been the greatest year for us. I mean, of course, I'm not making a lot of the tragedy and the loss of lives, and it has been a rough year in so many ways. But as far as hitting our goals, 2020 by far has been the best year we've ever had. So,
I talked to some of my family members and friends, and I said that. I'm like, you there for a little while, I almost felt guilty. I mean, I really did, because you saw the pain and the loss and things like that other people were having, and we were kind of like, this has been a really good year for us. And so again, I was kind of guilty, felt guilty there for a little bit. But then I thought, you know what? That's what life's all about. You're going to have ups, you're going to have downs. You got to embrace the good. You got to embrace the bad sometimes. That's what life is. So I don't think there's anything to feel guilty about. No. Again, I think it's hard work. We, wrote our goals down, hit the goals, exceeded our goals. And so I'm proud to be a part of the business. Looking forward to a 2021.
Did you know? I think Smith is saying that this is our 100th show.
That's correct. Is it?
Awesome. Thank you, Smith, for the hard work you've done. Tell us about your goals. So, Paul, I know a big goal that you've already put out there, so I don't think it's saying something you don't want me to. You hit a big goal in 2020. What did you do? I
paid my house off.
Man, that's so awesome.
So it is. I mean, we talk about financial freedom, things like that so much. There's so many people that, their car payment and their house payment or rent, whatever, whichever it may be, that's a huge part of their payment, that they need to pay that out every month. So to get rid of your rent, I mean, think about that, how much your life would change if you didn't have to pay rent, you didn't have to pay a mortgage.
Yeah.
It would make a huge difference.
Oh my gosh. Let me tell you what a difference it makes. Like, if we were to go through another shutdown or whatever, if for whatever reason we had to lock the doors, we don't want to do that. We want to keep everything rocking and rolling. We want to grow. We want to expand. But I would be okay, and you would be okay. And those, we talked to Jamie, we've talked to a lot of our core people who really listen to us, and they put these things into place. It wouldn't be fun, but they would be okay. Right. If you're overextended, either because of too much debt or not enough income, man, there's some serious anxiety that's associated with that.
Huge.
And one of my favorite authors is Scott Galloway. Now, 90% of the things that we disagree on about 90% of the things. So it's strange that he's my favorite author, but I learned so much about him. He is a professor at NYU Stern, and he talks about, here's what we disagree with. He is a product of big government, he got into schools and then was able to get, because of, I think, student loans or whatever, maybe free education. I can't remember exactly. But anyway, he's a product and he's super successful, started many, many businesses. He advises people like Nike and some of the big boys. So, big boys. He's big time. But anyway, he was born by into his, I guess, single mother is what you would say. And he had different stepdads come through his life. But he talks about the anxiety that he felt and his mother felt because they didn't have much money. For instance, a simple jacket. And listen, if my mom's watching, I don't know if she watches the show very much. I think she's out on some horses or something. Mm-hmm. But my mom and I have had this same situation happen. Like me, Scott can't keep up with many things. Car keys, I just leave them in the car, because I you know what I mean? But a jacket, my mom she'd buy me a jacket, a really nice jacket. It wouldn't last a month. I would lose the jacket. Okay. And at school,
how are you so successful?
Because I know what I'm terrible at.
Gotcha.
If you know what you're terrible at, you can fill those positions. Gotcha. Anyway, you can fill those holes with people who are good at them. Anyway, I would lose that jacket and it would be devastating. Okay. You need a jacket. So you buy whatever it was back then, $20, $40 jacket. That was a lot of money to a poor family.
Yeah.
So then you have to replace that. Right. And okay, here's your Christmas present, because we can't afford to buy Christmas now. So this is your Christmas present. Great. Lose the jacket.
Oh boy.
And now you have losing a jacket is devastating. It is just crushing.
Yeah, that's all you got.
It's crushing. And that's sad. Mm-hmm. So, the answer to that is more money. And that's why we get so I just want to make sure, hey man, let's try to get the money right so that you don't have to be devastated and like the world's coming to an end because you lose a jacket. The anxiety tied to being poor is a terrible thing.
It is. It's ridiculous. You talked about, the guy being one of your favorite authors.
Mm-hmm.
So I wanted to mention my niece, Mackenzie. Her goal, she read 35 books. Mackenzie, I apologize if I get this wrong. I think she's 9. And so correct me if I'm wrong, Barb. But Mackenzie, I think she's 9. But she read 35 books this year. That's awesome.
Hey, I tell you what,
she did really good.
There's no doubt that she has a tremendous advantage on 99% of every other 9-year-old.
Mm-hmm.
It matters.
She's a real bright kid. I mean, she loves. Oh, she's 10. See, I told you.
Okay.
So she's 10. But yeah,
I have to ask Chloe how old she is all the time.
It's like I can't remember. Okay, I'm getting old. That's how it works. Some other goals, Jamie. If you'll post some of those, some other goals that people have reached. My friend Dusty, his goal: work hard to find a better job. We do that all the time.
Absolutely.
We talk about improving your situation. Yep. Making more money, things like that. My sister Barb increased the college fund for Mackenzie and Zoe, paid off her car a year early. That's always fun.
Yeah, she did that.
Mm-hmm.
Awesome. Great job, Barb.
That's my niece, Amy. I took a promotion, moved to a new state, and completed 18 credit hours in my second master's with all A's and made the National Honor Society. Way to go, Amy.
Wow.
Yeah, that's excellent.
Great job. Hey, we'll stop right there and jump in for a second. We were talking about Jamaica. She were talking about moving to a new state.
Mm-hmm.
Man, do you know how valuable it is to travel for the education? You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. Like to see how other things are. For instance, Jamaica is the only foreign country I've been to, so I'm still very sheltered when it comes to a lot of these things. Their grocery stores are nothing like our grocery stores. There's some. I mean, you don't see even many of the brands that like their bacon is not smoked or cured bacon. It's like fresh, I guess you say fresh bacon.
Yeah.
Like, so everything that you get that you're just used to, is not necessarily available to so many people.
Gotcha.
The hot dogs I'm telling you, everything is so different. Now, having said that, we did go to a very, authentic restaurant, and I ate the goat, and the goat was absolutely phenomenal. You don't have goat served in many restaurants around here, so eat more goat.
Yes. So the goat was eating the goat.
By the way, I had to drive on the left side of the road too.
Was that weird?
Was
that a big adjustment?
What was weird is we got there and there was a 6 or 7 o'clock curfew, and it was after 6 or 7 o'clock. And the van we were in didn't have any gas. So the gas station was closed. So we had to get a 5-gallon bucket of gas and siphon it into the van. There's a photo of that, Jamie, if you want to go. I
was just going to say that. I'm like, people have got to go to the page, but Jamie's going to pull it up. I want to jump in on this because people who think, I mean, I loved it when you posted this because I was like, okay, everybody that thinks that you have this dream life, I'm like, it got real. I mean, it got real right there with Billy having to siphon gas, to get it into the vehicle. I mean, I just thought it was hilarious. A little dose of reality, if you will, where, you never get big enough to not have to do some things.
So we get there, and it's late, and we rent a 10-passenger van so we can haul our 10 people around. Okay. Hold on before you pop it up there, Jamie. Okay. So we get there, and the nice guy picks us up, and I noticed that he's on I forgot that Jamaica used to be a British colony. So they drive on the left side of the road, and all their vehicles are right-hand drive. So here's the guy like, this is going to be interesting. So then we take off, and roundabouts they could be tricky in the United States. So here we go to these roundabouts, and like cars are, oh, wait a minute. Who knows who to go? So we go to the rental place. That was just 9 people, been up for 16 hours. We finally get there. Our house is up in the mountains overlooking the ocean, which is awesome, but we had to get up there. So I'm like, look, I got 9 other people in here I'm responsible for. 4 different parents that are not in my family, for the loved ones that are with us, our friends. And I'm like, man, how about I asked the driver, I said, will you just drive us? I'll pay you to drive us up there. He said, yeah, man. So then it doesn't have any gas. So pop up the picture there, Jamie. So this was not staged. This was real life. We had
only in Jamaica.
We had to siphon gas and then siphon it into the van. Now the reason that I'm holding it right there is because he had just come back from around the building, because when we first started siphoning the gas, he got it all in his mouth and all in his eyes. Oh. So I said, let me take over. Let me take over, buddy. So I took over there. Now, one thing about Jamaica, everybody is on Jamaican time. They're not very prompt. He said, I got to go get some more gas for someone else. So he tore out, and 5 minutes to them is more like 50 minutes. So I'm like, all right, guys, we got to go. So I just get behind the wheel of the van. I said, somebody get us some directions. Our phones were not yet set to work in Jamaica. So we had handwritten directions how to get there. And luckily we were in the resilient corridor. That's supposed to be the safest place.
Okay.
But we had to get up the mountain on the left side of the road in the middle of the night. It was pretty wild. Pretty wild.
But it was well worth it because of the vacation,
absolutely.
Because the vacation was
you
good.
Can stop the sharing that.
Hey, Felipe, I'm going to send you a message here in just a second. So keep an eye on your phone. Also, we have our classic rock revisit that we're going to talk about here in just a minute. I said this a few weeks ago, and I have to admit my mistake, I guess. I had written off my Chicago Bears.
Yeah.
Okay. So they still have a chance to make the playoffs. I'm not saying they're going to win the Super Bowl, but I wanted to bring that up. I'm not wearing my Bears stuff. I'm wearing my Ninja stuff. But yeah, so the Bears take on the Packers this Sunday night football. So if they win, they're in. They're in the playoffs. So we'll see. And I know I got a bunch of my family and friends from Chicago that are rooting for them, to make the playoffs again. So hopefully they'll do that. So what's one of the goals that you have for this year?
For 2021?
No. Let's backtrack. What was one of the goals that you hit for 2020 for last year?
Well, buying this office and building the this state of the art, and I know we're not done with it, but this building this environment, building this place that we can use for years and years to come. This is a tremendous asset, this building and the technology that we have. And so that's one of the things that I really am most proud of that we hit in 2020.
So a personal goal, just like, with your family, your wife, your kids, something like, what was something that you had set kind of a goal for?
Taking them to, yeah, absolutely. Letting them experience something, that I didn't get to experience until I was 36 years old. I didn't use a passport until I was 36 years old, and they all use their passport. Chloe's 14 and then Cooper's 21.
Well, one of the things that I had said that we were going to do in 2020 that we didn't do, but we are going to do in 2021 is the beer of the week.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Felipe. I said, I don't know how many times now that we're going to get beers on the show.
Modelo.
So, thank you, sir. So the beer of the week this week, sponsored by, this is Modelo Negra. It's a really, really good beer. By the way, they're pull tops.
Okay. Did he say that correctly, Felipe?
I did, didn't I?
Okay.
Modelo Negra.
We gotta be careful.
Gotta be careful with that.
Gotta be careful.
Gotta be careful. Well, and it's funny because they changed the label, because when I first had this was probably 10 years ago, and the label, it was different. You can see, like, now, yeah, Jamie's got the label on there now. So it says Modelo, and then it says Negra underneath it.
Uh-huh.
Well, it used to be the exact opposite. It used to be on top. So when you would go into a restaurant or whatever, and you'd order it, and you would say, I want a Negro Modelo.
Uh-huh.
Now they flipped it,
right?
Because now they're using the Modelo brand.
Modelo.
Yeah. So the Modelo Negra. But basically, what this beer is, it's 5.4 alcohol. So it's a little bit stronger than probably most of your American beers. It's not overwhelming though. But even though it's a darker beer, it's not super dark. It's not like a stout or anything like that. But it's easy drinking, and it has kind of hints of like toffee and almost chocolate. So again, it's not a stout. See, you can see the color in the glass there. So
but April would like that if it's almost.
So these are a little bit. There we go. So,
and Jamie, I don't know what it is about seeing Paul's face, but if you don't have a split screen, people tune out. So. Yeah. Okay. So we are at least on a split screen. Great. Make sure I could see. 2021.
So, cheers. So we're going to drink on the show this time around. So the beer of the week, Modelo Negra.
That is like coffee, actually.
See what I mean? But it's not like a stout. It's not overwhelming.
Right.
You know, it's a lighter beer. But one of the reasons why I picked Modelo Negra was that we have so many people that are, you know, they've really become our family.
Yes.
You know, that are of Hispanic descent.
Oh, yes.
If you will.
Yes.
So I wanted to kind of show off the importance of, you know, our team. We have, you know, I mean, Felipe, who brought us the beers, by the way, from the fridge. Thank you, Felipe. But Felipe is important. Jamie Lopez, you know, our producer today, filling in for Smith, you know, a big part of the show. Kevin Tinajero, you know, big part of the team. You know, I mean, we have so many different Hispanic descent employees that are not just employees, but strong and important.
Oh my gosh.
Employees.
I mean, you saw the post I made today about Jamie, and Jamie's behind the camera right now, but I mean, it is important. You can't teach. Pull up, Jamie, I'm your humble guy, but pull up my post about you today, and then we'll let Paul read it while
I was just going to say, I didn't see it.
You haven't seen
it?
I
don't think I saw it. No.
So that's the post I made. Let's see, get it big enough where Paul can see it with his eyes.
That's right. You just told me I was young like 5 minutes ago. There he is. So you can't teach how to be genuine, good. You can't.
Did I mess up?
You can't teach how to be a genuine, good-hearted person. You can't teach hunger to be great. You can't teach how to have a burning desire for excellence. The real deal is hard to find and the most valuable product on the planet. Happy New Year, Jamie Lopez. You inspire me. I'll tell you what. That's really
is that accurate?
That's very accurate. You know, it's very accurate.
I'm trying to
look at him trying to be all professional in the picture too.
Yes, absolutely.
That was at our Christmas party.
I was trying to find a different photo of what I called me amigos. You mentioned them all.
Yeah.
We got Jose.
Yeah, Jose. I forgot to mention.
Yeah,
we got to mention Jose.
We got Jose, Kevin Tinajero, Felipe Tinajero, Jamie Lopez. Who did I miss? That's the boy band. That's the boy band.
That's the boy band. Yeah. You know,
we got some amazing.
I mean, you know, Noemi and Ricardo, and you know, we have some other Hispanic, Monica, that are of Hispanic descent. But you're right, the Mi Amigos. You hit them all.
Yep. Jones says family is more than blood. Absolutely, Jonesy. It's important, man, to be able to work with people that you know are genuine, great people, and do meaningful work. That is what it's all about. Because, you know, you mentioned I trained, man, I'd do it if I didn't get paid. I did it when I did not get paid.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying? So it's not about the money. It's about what we can do to create value and work with amazing individuals. That's the real goal.
Well, you know, and we've had a lot of people that have come through our business. Well, I mean, you take Jonesy. Okay. I mean, you know, he's one of your closest friends. You've known him for a long time. We've had some people that have joined our company. And then, you know, for certain circumstances, like you said, you know, Jonesy wanted to stay closer to home, to his family. That's important. Yeah. So he decided he was going to make the move, leave our company. We wished him well. He's done extremely well, obviously. Absolutely. So
he's going to do well wherever he goes.
Yeah. You know, so we're very proud of him, you know, but we've had some people that have, you know, come in, they train with us, they learn from us. And sometimes they move on you know, some people have moved out of state, so they've left. Some people have decided they wanted to go into a different field, things like that. But we've touched a lot of different people through our company that have become part of our company. But we have a smaller group of people that have really become our family.
Absolutely.
So, I mean,
absolutely.
Lots of company, but not so much family.
Absolutely. And, you know, I love when people send me messages to let me know about the people that are in our organization. For instance, Jonesy sent me a message this morning. I think you can correct me if I'm wrong, Jonesy. You might've saw the post I made about Jamie. He said, I tell you what else you have. It's hard to find. That's a real problem solver. And he mentioned someone who's out of state. He said, every single time I called on Sarah Stalker, because Jonesy Jones used to be one of our frontline guys out there, you know, on site with the dealers, like Chad Gay is now. You know what I'm saying? And
boots on the ground.
Yeah, boots on the ground. So when you get out there and you run into problems, the dealer's questioning things you need answers to, it's very important to get those answers, because you're out there facing the dealer and answering questions, and you know, it's tough. So you need to know that someone has your back.
Absolutely.
He said every time that he called on Sarah Stalker, that she would get him the information. She would help him, you know, put out a fire. If there was a fire, right. You know, she's been with us almost from the beginning, and it's very important to have people out there that you know that you can count on. And it's really cool that Jonesy thought enough of her to send me a message about that. You know what I'm saying? Just let you know the kind of people that
it does. With. I mean, it makes such an impact. And I mean, I use that phrase a lot, making an impact. Well, how are you going to make an impact? You can make a good impact. You can make a bad impact. Mm-hmm. So when we hire new ninjas in, I tell them that all the time. I'm like, it's up to you. What kind of impact are you going to make? And certainly Sarah's made an impact on our company. We've had a lot of people. I mean, again, we're not here to brag. We're proud of what we've done. So we've had a great year. 2020 has been very successful for our company. But it takes a lot more than just Billy Merritt. I mean,
yes, it does.
It's his company. It was his concept, his idea. He was, he's certainly the leader of the company and all that kind of thing. And he has the plan, but it takes a lot more than just you.
I'm the pioneer, but you can't do anything great alone. Okay.
You got the wrong one. You got the skinny. That's why it won't fit.
Okay.
But you'll make it fit.
I'll make it.
He's a problem solver.
Yeah.
See, that's what it is.
By the way, this is just simply Digi Ninja water.
Mine, by the way, is Modelo Negro. I'm just saying.
But anyway, yeah, man. It's super cool to have the people that we have. It's amazing. Totally amazing.
And we've had some people, clients that have raved about, hey, I talked to so-and-so that works for your company. They've done a great job. They helped me out with a problem, things like that. We've had some newer ninjas that work for us, that have solved problems, that help out, do that, and do the extra mile, stuff like that. And that's what it's about, putting in the work. Mm-hmm. I mean, solving those problems. So Jamie, what other, there we go. So Cindy and TJ, I've been blessed in 2020, looking forward to bigger and better things in 2021.
Absolutely.
We like it. Like those kind of things.
So what do you want to do in 2021, Paul?
Well, oddly enough, I don't know where I came up with the number 4, but remember when I first started with the company, there was, 5 or 6 of us that were working back then. And you said, write down, a bunch of goals. Now you have just pages and pages and pages and pages, of a legal pad where you just written stuff down. And I was much more of the short list. Mm-hmm. So I don't know where I came up with 4, but I did. I'm like, I'm going to write down 4. And then when I achieve those 4, then I'll write down, 4 more. That was my original plan. Well, I did 3 of the 4. So I've achieved 3 of the 4
really?
that I wrote down.
Wow.
But so I thought, you know what? I'm going to double or no, I'm not going to double 50% increase. So I wrote down 6 goals for this year, 6 goals. And just like before, I'm not telling you.
Okay. That's cool.
They're mine.
I understand.
They're my goals. Mm-hmm. But I mean, some people, you've shared some of yours. I mean, I've told a couple friends here and there, one of them. No, in fact, I will say one of them. I'll let everybody know, because this isn't a big secret. Probably everybody that works here knows this one. One of my goals, 1967 Camaro.
Really? I'm
going to get a 1967 Camaro, classic car, a classic Camaro. Certainly not out of the, out of the realm of achieving. In fact, I decided, I was like, okay, do I get the Camaro or do I pay the house off? So I had to make that decision.
That was a good decision.
Exactly. So I decided, I'm like, all right, I'm going to pay the house off. But yeah, so that's one of the 6 that I have, is to get the 1967 Camaro. By the way, that is still not, even though I want that car desperately, that is still not the number 1 goal. It's down a little ways.
Sure.
So I got a few other things that I wanted to get accomplished in 2021, but one of them, we have some new services, some new products here at Billy Merritt Marketing and Digi Ninja. You can see the shirts where we're wearing proudly. Digi Ninja, the service. Chat is where it's at. It's going to be one of our models. It's going to be one of our models.
Hey, by the way, man, let me tell you, I think I talked about this. We had probably going to have some people watching today that didn't watch the other show, so I'll say it again. It's always good to be the first, to be one of the first, to be the pioneer, to bring something to market,
sure,
something that takes off and really becomes a hit, like the Facebook event sales. Mm-hmm. But I'm telling you, man, if you're just now getting to the Facebook party, you're late.
Yeah,
you're late. So in 2021, you're going to see a migration from people away from. Here's a fact. Facebook, media buyers in general. Mm-hmm. And you understand what that term is. Explain to the people what a media buyer is.
I mean, you mean, companies that are using different types of media.
Yes. Or, big agencies and, people.
I got you. So, a media agency.
Yes.
Is what so it's a company that you hire and they decide what advertising they're going to use for your business, for your company.
Yes. And so in the past, it was radio and TV and print. Okay.
Correct.
And now it's all these other things. So there's millions of places online that you can spend your money. But did you know, I learned this from Scott Galloway, that over 50%, it may be way on up there like 90%, but it's a vast majority. It's way more than 50% of all digital ad spend in the United States is spent on Google and Facebook.
Wow.
Okay. Facebook.
That's a lot.
Yes. I think it's like 90. We'll look it up. I'll get the book and Scott Galloway, we'll quote him on that. But the point of that is Facebook. See, I knew that 4 years ago. I found that out 4 years ago. So I started really, really using Facebook to reach people, and it worked. Sure. There is going to be a migration away from Facebook because so many media buyers that are spending millions of dollars for huge companies are getting frustrated with the way that you don't get any communication from the ads department at Facebook.
Right.
And so as that frustration builds, if you're the guy,
they're going to find something else.
Yeah. If I'm buying radio from you, this actually happened in the past. I was buying radio from someone and it got so aggravating. I didn't get the service I thought I needed and I deserved from that. Not you, but from the person I was buying the radio from. I said, you know what? Let's just stop it.
Yeah.
Let's find something else.
Right.
It's not the only, it has been the only show in town. It's been a very effective one. A new day is coming. And that new day looks a lot like this. If you have a product, you had to have a business. If you're a car dealer, stop giving your money to things that are taking people away from your website. Start looking for opportunities to drive people to your website. Then most importantly, have someone on that website, a real person who knows how to talk to people using the art of text message selling, that will actually turn that conversation into an appointment. That is 2021 is going to be the first of about 5 years where in the next 5 years, that is going to be the biggest way to sell anything. And it may continue longer than that. I said Facebook was going to be 5 to 7 years as the biggest thing. It's been about 5 or 6, the biggest thing. Everything shifts and changes, and you got to be ready to change.
Yeah, well, we talked about 2020 as the year of adjust and adapt. I just kind of said, it just seems like every time you turn around, something was changing, something was different. You have to adjust, you have to adapt. So we just kind of, grab that as our motto, if you will, was, 2020, adjust and adapt. So 2021, I've come up with a new one.
Okay.
So adjust, and we're going to continue to adjust and adapt. That's just kind of normal. But for 2021, ready?
Yes.
The goal, the motto, I should say, of 2021. And Jamie Lopez is looking at me like, okay, what's it going to be? What's it going to be? Get a grip.
Get a grip.
Get a grip. 2021, get a grip. So, and you're going to love this, Billy, once I explain it. Get a grip. You talk about fake news.
Yes.
Bad information.
Yes.
Avoid it. Get a grip, people.
Yeah.
I mean, there's a lot of bad stuff out there. Don't let it affect you. We talk about Jamie Lopez he talks about positive attitude, having a great attitude. He's one of our top ninjas that has that. In fact, he won the best attitude award.
Absolutely.
At our Christmas party. But when people get down and they get beat down over and over and things are just, it looks like, oh my God, the sky is falling kind of thing. Get a grip. Okay. Take control of your life. Don't let something run you. I mean, you run the show. Don't let the show run you. I used to say that in radio. I mean, when I was on radio all the time, I would say, hey, don't let the show run you. You run the show. So don't get all caught up in all the garbage. So get a grip. That's the new motto for 2021 for at least for me. So we'll see if you guys kind of catch on and play along, but get a grip. That's the new motto. What do you think, Jamie Lopez?
Let's roll.
Get a grip. Let's roll.
I like it. So I'm reading a book right now. It's very, very, very long book. The audio version is 14 hours by Ray Dalio, who he's been, according to Time magazine, one of the top 100 most influential people in the world. According to Forbes, one of the top 100 richest people in the world. There's a lot of accolades. And he talks about principles and the importance of writing down your principles. So that's my focus of 2021, us as a group. And especially if we grow, then it's very important for us to have some very clear and very defined principles. Those of you closest to me, y'all, it's obvious. You can, if you're around someone long enough, you will be able to tell what principles they're operating on, whether they're written down or not.
Right.
Okay. It's obvious if you work with Paul that one of his principles is integrity, so that's, there's a funny story you told me about that one time, but I'll leave that alone. That was a good story.
It's about a previous employer.
Paul, you bring integrity to the organization. Wow. So you didn't have integrity before I got here. Pretty wild. So let me jump on the therapist table or couch right here. What's a principle that's obvious that I operate with?
Honesty.
Awesome. So you know what, man, that's so awesome, because that is principle number one that we're going to put in place. We can call it maybe, I don't know how many there's going to be, the 10 principles, but to work here and to be a part of this organization, to be a part of this family, principle number one, you have to be open and honest.
Yes.
You have to be. If you can't do that, then we don't know what we're dealing with, and we can't help you, and you can't help us. Right?
Yeah.
You have to be honest. So, obviously we work hard. That's a principle. We sacrifice. That's a principle. But I'm going to, throughout the year, articulate and ask myself, do some introspection and do some, and maybe ask you guys some questions about what are our top principles? Which one are we missing? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So that it's all written, so that the new people come in, and they get the principles in the art of text message selling. Be fast, have a great attitude. But that's a principle, right?
Correct.
So that's one we live by. Be problem solvers. That's a principle we live by. But to lay out those principles and write them down, I think is going to be important and helpful in 2021.
I like that.
Yep.
Yeah, no, I like that. It's a lot. I think that'll help a lot.
First and foremost, be honest, because you know why? A phony is the worst thing you could be.
Well, and people, look, you can fool people for a little while. Maybe you can even fool them for a long while, but eventually the true colors are going to come through.
Yeah.
I mean, eventually you're going to be exposed for who you are, because you just can't, you can't keep it up. Yeah. Plus, I think that we talk about, dishonesty, flipping it, being the opposite. When you start lying to people, you can't remember those lies. And that's where you get caught. So the more lies you tell, the harder it is to remember which one I told, who I told, this one I told.
And you know what's hilarious? And I use it all the time if I'm ever dealing with a dishonest person, because I don't like secrets. The less secrets you have, the happier you are, the more at peace you are, things like that. When someone is being dishonest, and there's usually a trail in today's world of text messages.
Oh yeah. You can see them.
You had said this right here. You know what I'm saying? So I love technology in that regard, but yeah, be honest, guys. I mean, goodness, that's in the 10 commandments. Your mama told you to do that. You got to be honest. And you know what? Being honest with yourself is this is big right here, Jamie. You may want to mark this. To be successful in 2021, the most important thing you can do is be honest with yourself, because self-realization is the biggest gift you can have. If you can actually be self-awareness, if you can be aware of who you really are and what your real priorities are, because a lot of people don't know. But if you know what your priorities are and you know why you're doing something, that's one of the best situations you can be in. You can build from there. But if you aren't honest with yourself, open-minded as well, open-minded and honest with yourself, and it's going to be really hard to improve yourself.
That brings up we do reviews, performance reviews, with our ninjas, and it brings up, I had a ninja. We did reviews. I think it was probably maybe 8 weeks ago was the last time I did them. We try to do them at least once a quarter. But I had a ninja that I had done a review, weeks ago, or maybe even a month ago. And they came to me and they said, hey, the things that you told me to work on, have I been doing that? And I said, well, you've done this, so that's good. And they were actually asking me, they're like, well, what are my other flaws? And they brought it up, and I thought it was interesting because most people don't want to know what their flaws are.
Yeah.
They're just like, oh, I can do this. And they don't really think about I can't, or I struggle with this. So I think it's a very good point.
So to that point, Paul, the things that you struggle with or the things that you suck at, I mean, that's the things that's going to hold you back the most.
Right.
I mean, you can be super talented in so many ways, but then if you have a really nasty, what's the right word? A really nasty characteristic.
Well, let's say you got a really bad attitude.
Yeah. Okay. Oh my gosh.
You can be skilled, in certain things, but if you've got a really bad attitude, it's going to affect you.
Yes.
It's going to really hinder your performance. Is going to hinder other people. That's why, that's one of our top 5 rules, is have a great attitude. If you don't, it spreads like the plague. It just does. It spreads throughout, and people look, I know the people that are watching, if you work, I know some of you are retired, but if you work, I know somebody, everybody has somebody in their workplace where they go, oh yeah, that's the one.
Yeah.
Always complaining, always whining, never happy, et cetera, et cetera. And it does, it spreads like a plague.
Well, let's say that you have a good attitude and you're talented and you work hard, but you also have a tendency to lose your cool or lose your temper. Okay. And that can be almost, if not just as devastating. You know Absolutely. What I'm saying? I mean, if you get it right 90% of the time, and you're going to make mistakes. Okay. But this is my point about self-awareness and being honest with yourself. What's your biggest flaw and what triggers it? So let's think about
that's hard. Yeah. I mean, most people can name what their biggest flaw is. Most people can. I mean, if they think about it,
if they're being honest,
yes. If they think about it, they'll know it, but what triggers it, that's the hard part.
It's hard. Maybe that's when, some self-reflection will usually show that, I think. If not, maybe talk to some of your mastermind group, your closest inner circle, and say, hey, that sometimes I do this. What do you think? What causes that? So, and here's one thing that causes a lot of problems with people when it comes to, well, I'll just say this: passive aggressive behavior is very detrimental. So, and people who tend to be, and I have in the past, maybe I still do, like the offense, whatever it is that bothers me comes up, and I just ignore it. And then boom, it all comes out at one time. When being assertive is so much better. So if you are passive aggressive, that, hey man, now this is hard to say, Jamie, man, this is a problem. You got to stop doing this. You can't do this because it's going to affect our business or whatever. So go ahead and address it, be assertive. And it's really hard running this call center. Okay. We're all growing doing it, right? We'll take one of our young team leaders, Felipe. Okay. Felipe's laid back, easygoing, effective, very talented as a leader, and very friendly. A lot of people he's a good leader now, don't get me wrong, but a very friendly, not the type of person who's going to come in and cuss somebody out.
Right.
Maybe I won't mention his name. Maybe another Tina Harrow would be a little more aggressive.
Strict.
Yeah. And maybe the other Tina Harrow wouldn't have a problem and say, hey man, get your shit together. You can't do that, right?
Exactly.
But that may be hard for Felipe to do. Okay. So he has to be aware of it. Okay. And I've seen him do it. Hey guys. And you can tell it's uncomfortable. That's okay. Hey guys, I'm going to need you to put your phones up, for the next 2 hours. We're going to make sure we're not on the phone. That's being assertive.
Right.
Being assertive is so much better than being passive aggressive. What happens when you're passive aggressive? You just ignore it. And then when they say, then put your phone up, so that's assertiveness is much better.
It's funny. You can tell that you and I are on the same page. I literally just talked to Felipe and Jose about this yesterday.
Really?
I said, hey, you got a lot of skills. You bring a lot of things to the table. But that was one of the things where I was like, I want to see I jokingly said, Felipe, we call him Phil for short. And I jokingly said that I wanted to see mean Phil. In other words, a little more strict Phil, because he is so laid back. That some people tend to, run over him a little bit, abuse him a little bit, things like that. So that's something that he could work on. But when you were talking about losing it, I mean, I work on that all the time. Yep. I mean, because when you said earlier, finding the triggers, that's part that I still haven't been able to, to narrow down. I mean, I've worked on not losing my temper. I've done a pretty good job. I feel certainly better than in 2020. I was better than I was in 2019.
Yeah, that's awesome. That's
so
awesome.
It's like, you make the adjustments, you improve. So, but the triggers, I don't know how that I got to work on that. I got to find out what the triggers are. Maybe Jamie can fill me in on that.
I'll think about it as well and see if I can. A lot of it, man, honestly, is being responsible for so much. You know what I'm saying? So maybe the lack of delegation. You know what I'm saying? So I think maybe that's the trigger, is you're doing too much. So if we can get, if Felipe and Jamie are handling the assertive correction, the policing of, because listen, more people, more problems. It's not more money, more problems. It's more people. If we get 75 ninjas in here, we're going to have more problems.
Correct.
So if you're being the police officer and you can't, and you're having to do so many, and you're having to take my phone calls, right? So I think that the more we can delegate and have other people step up, then we'll prevent Paul from losing it.
I like that.
Like that?
Yeah, I do.
Everybody
like
listening?
Like that. Felipe, you listening? By the way, Felipe, since we were talking about Felipe, I don't think that I did not notice that you put earlier that we could not beat Aaron Rodgers, that the Bears could not beat Aaron Rodgers. I did see that. I overlooked it, but I'm gonna point it out now. So thanks a lot, Felipe.
Dude, speaking of sports, the Bulldogs play today, right? Who do we play?
Who do the Bulldogs play today? Cincinnati.
Is it a bowl game? What bowl is it? Obviously, it's not that important.
It's not a big bowl game. Yeah, it's not a big bowl game. That's for sure.
That's Joey over there. Joey over there being quiet. Are you solving problems?
Yeah, Joey actually is solving problems.
Is he?
Mm-hmm.
Good. Problem solving.
What was Barb said Paul has no problem doing that.
Probably.
I don't know which part that was.
Being mean.
Well, yeah, it probably was. Being mean. Bringing the hammer down.
Thanks, Derek Royals. Derek's digging things.
Derek's digging this.
Thanks, Joey.
Joy.
Mm-hmm. I see. I've always gotten that wrong, Joey. Joey. Like I used to call Joey Joy.
Did you really?
Mm-hmm. He never.
Was it because he was such a joy to work with?
I don't think that was it.
No.
I don't think that was it.
Joey's in the back going, yes, it was.
Joy. Like J-O-I.
Just quick.
Yeah.
Just quick.
And then one day, it was the Carfax rep came in, and I said, "Go see Joy." And she's like, "Joy?" I said, "Yeah, Joy." She says, "Is it Joy?" I said, "Yes." She said, "Oh, I thought it was Joey." I was like, "Is there a difference?"
Like, isn't that what I said?
And that was the day that my lack of intelligence showed up, when I realized that there was a difference between Joy
and Joey. That there was a difference. Yep. Well, that's part of the Southern. I think that's part of the Southern thing.
I think so.
Yeah, I really do. Well, hey, let's talk about the Classic Rock Revisit. And I've tied all this in. I was prepared. I mean, I was prepared today. I know we don't normally prepare very well. We kind of just wing it, but I was prepared today. I mean, I had beers brought in. Sure we're talking about the multicultural. I mean, all this comes together, dude.
Comes together. That's
right. The Classic Rock Revisit, just like our motto for 2021, Classic Rock Revisit. Jamie, if you pull it up, it's from 1993. Aerosmith, their album, Get a Grip.
So
Get a Grip.
I see.
And a couple of tunes off there that you'll know, which actually are, pretty fitting. First of all, again, the title track, Get a Grip, that fits. The single that was on there, Living on the Edge. I mean, 2020 has pretty much been living on the edge the whole year. So that's fitting. A couple power ballads off there that most people know. Amazing is on there. The other one was Crazy. So again, we could say that 2021 was amazing for our business. It's crazy for the whole world. It was. So very fitting. And then the deep cut that I wanted to bring up, that I want to mention, there's a tune on there called Line Up that has Lenny Kravitz as a special guest on there. So go check out Aerosmith's Get a Grip if you haven't heard it. If you have, definitely worth a revisit. So go check that out and be sure and check out Line Up by Lenny Kravitz. And I think that's what our dealers are. I mean, this all pulls together, man. I'm telling you, I've really planned this out. Our dealers, they're going to be lining up for Digi Ninja Chat.
Yes. So one of my goals, and I think maybe it's the same number, is 1,000 dealers.
1,000. That's went up.
Yeah.
I thought you said 500. He's doubled it since he's been in Jamaica, man.
Yeah. I found out that there's car dealers in Jamaica, Jamaica Toyota.
Did you go visit them?
I sure did. I had to because I could make it a.
Give him the book.
I sure did.
That's Billy. Even on vacation, this man is selling.
Okay.
Always
this is a long-term goal. Okay. I want to talk about a couple very important things right here.
Mm-hmm.
I want to talk about the coronavirus. Okay. So please stay with me. Tune in. Have your friends, your family watch this as well. But I also want to talk about plastic, man. So many people say, I want a plastic straw. Jamaica was so beautiful. But man, riding around that place on 1A, right by the beautiful ocean, I noticed there's plastic and trash all in the ocean.
Mm-hmm.
That's a problem that needs fixing.
It's ridiculous.
It's so give me a paper straw, man. I do not want, we were at this beautiful, beautiful resort, this one place we went to, and from people, their trash getting away from them. There's plastic they were out there cleaning it up, the people at the place.
Mm-hmm.
But I think there's got to be a better way for us as a society, which starts with individuals. I hate to use the word hate, but I hate to see people say, oh man, I can't make a difference. This is so much bigger than just me.
Mm-hmm.
It's the big corporations that cause the problem. We need laws, we need policy to fix this.
Mm-hmm.
Whereas if I say, you know what, I'm either not going to use a straw. When somebody offers me a drink, I'm going to say that's, just give me the bottle, or, don't give me the cup as well.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I mean, these things seem small, but they're not. You think about on an airplane, they pass out drinks. They give you an aluminum can or a glass bottle,
mm-hmm.
and they give you a plastic cup to pour it into.
Right.
We don't need that.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? Just like say, no, I don't want, just give me whatever the container is. I'll take that, but don't give me additional plastic. Plastic doesn't go away,
mm-hmm.
and it ends up in the ocean. So I want to be a billionaire so that I can help get the plastic out of the ocean.
Well, something else, I mean, to tie into that is recycling.
Yeah.
Recycling is not hard to do.
No.
I mean, it's very easy now. I mean, a long time ago, it was a lot more difficult. But most towns, if you're in a town that doesn't have recycling services, well, move. No, I'm kidding. But if you have recycling and if your town has a recycling, so like they have it here in Douglas, we have recycling. So if you have recycling services in your town and you don't recycle, you're just an idiot. I mean, I'm sorry, but it's not that hard to do.
Right.
I mean, once you get used to it, I get it. Oh, I forgot. I threw the plastic bottle in the trash can, the regular trash,
right.
but I mean, once you kind of get used to, you have the two separate containers. I have that in my house. I have a recycled trash can and I have a regular trash can.
Use it.
Yeah. It's really not that difficult.
It makes a difference what we do as individuals.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm still going to talk about the coronavirus, but go to some of the comments real quick while we have some engagement. Joy. Joy.
Yes, there is a difference between Joy and Joey.
All right. I got it. Actually, I figured that out about 15 years ago. So maybe 20.
But you're still struggling with saying it. Is that what it is? Barb said that I have no trouble being nice. I got you.
Oh, look there.
See, but that's when I go home. Yeah, I'm not at work.
Read the next one right there. Okay. So Tracy Phillips says, yep, I know all about Jamaica.
Hey, Tracy.
Cool. Tracy, what's your favorite thing about Jamaica? Mine was Dune River Falls, without a doubt. That was my favorite thing. It was by far worth going there again just for that. It was an hour-and-a-half drive from our house to there,
mm-hmm.
on the left side of the road, 10 people in a van, and I wanted to go back the next day. They didn't want to go. I guess they didn't.
By the way, when you do that, do you have to use the guide? Or do they just recommend it?
What, at the falls?
Mm-hmm.
They recommend it. You don't have to. They asked us if we wanted to, and I said yes. And man,
mm-hmm.
that was the best thing we did, was get that guide, because he took our boys up some really difficult climbs,
mm-hmm.
and you wouldn't know what you could or couldn't do. There was one we went to, and only 3 people had ever made it up that very hard part. And Case actually made it up. So now there's 4 people that made it up. That
Case is the man.
That was pretty good.
Way to go, Case.
And Cooper could have made it, but he slipped one time, and so he let him try one more time, and he said, "All right, man, we got to go." That was
we're gonna give Coop so much grief.
That was like he hates losing. He hates
sure.
So he's like, "I'll give you $20 for them to go try it again." But anyway, man, that's a good reason to be a billionaire, so you can like help get the plastics out of the ocean.
Yeah.
So I want to be a billionaire for that reason. Okay, now I want to talk about the coronavirus. Okay. Now,
vid.
Yeah, the vid. All right. Everybody in here has been super blessed. Those of us who have received it or been exposed to it and didn't get sick. Did you ever test positive?
Nope.
Okay, you never. And I didn't either. I've had 4 tests now, 4 or 5 tests, negative, and even though half the people in our home got it, April was sick. I guess the longest for about 4 days. She felt pretty down. And we know friends, we've lost friends,
right?
We've lost friends people that I've shared meals with, and I know a lot of people who've lost people, and I know some people who are sick right now.
Right.
Okay? So, if being around someone, if it helps to wear a mask, you know what I'm saying? When you're in places where you're not comfortable, why wouldn't you do it? Right.
Sure.
So I want to say, first of all, when I think politics made it, like good or bad to wear a mask. I really do. I don't think that common sense, because let me tell you something, before the masks were a thing, I had N95 mask in my closet at home in case anything. This is before Corona.
I remember that.
I had N95, whatever that's called. I think I had mask in my closet at home, in my supply room, where in case anything ever happened, I felt safer with a mask on. And then when the coronavirus got started, and it was mask versus anti-maskers, where I'm like, you know what? Screw it. I don't want to wear a mask. So it's like politics kind of influenced whether or not I wanted to put on a mask. And I remember before coronavirus thinking on airplanes, I felt like, man, I wish I had a mask on. You're in this tube.
Oh yeah. This little tiny area with all the germs. Yeah.
And I'm like, man, like before coronavirus, if they had passed out masks on an airplane, I would have taken one, Yeah. Like, why in the hell will you say now, I don't want to wear a mask? Sure, it's liberty. I understand that. That's my point. Sure. Is don't tell me I have to do it. But I'm like, man, why would I like fight it to the point that it's like bad for my own health and safety?
Yeah.
Okay. Now here's the big part for the people who are taking it lightly. This is tricky, Paul. It seems like a good thing that so many people get the coronavirus and have mild symptoms. That seems like a good thing, doesn't it?
Seems like it, yeah.
Okay. But let's say 1 million people contract the coronavirus and 1,000 people die. Okay. Now let's say there's a coronavirus 2021, God forbid, and it's not as contagious, so only 100,000 people get it, but 1,000 people die. Which one's worse?
I mean, you still lose 1,000 people either way.
And the first one, 10 times as many people got sick. So the fact that so many people are getting it and having mild symptoms doesn't mean that means it's worse. You know what I'm saying? If the mortality rate, if just as many, if 1,000 people are dying, okay, 300. What are we now at? 300,000 people in the United States have died, something like that.
It's pretty high.
Okay, so over 300,000 people. The fact that Tammy's pulling up the numbers right there. You'll see what the numbers are. That's a daily change. But my point is, if people are dying from it, the fact that a bunch of people get it that aren't sick, it's not that important. It's good for you if you're one of them who don't die.
Sure.
But the fact that it's just more contagious doesn't really, that's a bad thing.
I mean, the whole thing is not good at all. I mean, regardless of what your political views were on it, you know, if President Trump should have done this, could have done this, whatever, it doesn't matter. I mean, it doesn't matter. Not anymore. No. I mean, you know, you could have brought that up about any president, about any situation. They could have done this, should have done this. And so it doesn't matter.
Here's a fact. You know, I'm talking to the people who, Felipe, he was. Hey, Felipe, come here real quick, Felipe. Just for a real quick question. This is for people who don't take the coronavirus seriously. Felipe, how old are you?
25.
25 years old. You work out?
Yes, sir.
He's not overweight, is he? All right. Were you concerned that you may not make it when you had the coronavirus?
It wasn't bad like that, but I was like, oh man, I was sick for 2 weeks. I lost 15 pounds. I couldn't eat. I couldn't smell. I couldn't taste. All I did was stay in the bed and have a fever all day long.
All right. So thank you.
And light pneumonia. Gotta have the pneumonia.
You had pneumonia too?
Yes, sir.
Wow. So the point right there is, Paul, if anybody should have just like been asymptomatic, no pre-existing conditions, works out, 25 years old, everything, you know, got everything going for him, to say he would be asymptomatic. He was sick for 2 weeks. He missed 2 weeks of work.
Yeah.
He wasn't out of work for 2 weeks. He was sick for 2 weeks. So it is something to be concerned about. Now, a lot of people say, oh, it's the flu. It's taking the place of the flu. You know, sure, the flu's way down, but more people have died in 2020 in the United States of all causes. Way more people have died than they died. About 200, 300,000 more people have died in 2020 than died in 2019 and 2018. So more people are dying, and I'm just saying, don't downplay the thing. I mean, you know what I'm saying? I mean, be considerate of it at least.
No, I'm in complete agreement. I mean, you know, we admitted that we kind of downplayed it at the beginning.
Yeah.
You know, we were ignorant to the situation. We didn't really know what we were dealing with. So we kind of, you know, we poked fun. We did. We poked fun at some people. And then we realized how serious it was. So again, you can change. You know, you don't have to, I said it from the beginning and I'm not going to change. You could admit that you made a mistake, or you can learn more information and make a different decision.
Yeah. The kind of the eye-opening thing for me was like when I walk into a bathroom in the airport, I'm like, man, I'm glad I got this mask on. Seriously. You know what I'm saying? I mean, first of all, bathrooms aren't the most pleasant place to be sniffing around in,
right?
You know, so that's helpful. And then you got so much going on in there.
Yeah,
it's just, I mean, come on, man.
Yeah. By the way, flipping the script a little bit, Tracy Phillips, the best thing about Jamaica, she said, laid back vibes.
It really is. It really is. By the way, they'll ask you, when you get there and you start getting in cars and things, they say, "You guys with the church? Are you with it? You and if you say, no, we're not with church, they say, you want some Bob Marley?
Some Bob Marley.
Yeah, they'll definitely, they're laid back for a reason.
Sure.
They're laid back. They get laid back, Bob Marley style.
Well, Colorado and other states are doing that. So
yeah.
Want some Bob Marley.
Yeah.
See, when I say you want some Bob Marley, I'm thinking like playing Bob Marley music. You know, that's me.
I understand.
But in Jamaica, a whole nother meaning.
It means something totally different.
Whole nother meaning. Yep. Hey, we want to get out of here because we know we've got some things that we got to get done. By the way, I do want to mention, you know, even though I'm not on the clock right now, so there you go. So I'm not working today. But anyway, it's been a great 2020, Billy.
It has.
I mean, even though, you know, COVID, again, there was a lot of bad things. We lost some good people, things like that. There's always going to be struggles and things you have to put up with. That's life, you know, the ebb and flow, you know, of life. But 2020 for our business was good. We could have certainly been better. I mean, we're not being greedy, but we could have been better. We're working on those goals. Again, I don't want to use the word resolutions. So if you're out there and it's New Year's Day and you're going, I'm going to make my New Year's resolutions, change that. You know, we're going to recommend to you that you change that and say, these are my goals for 2021, and write them down every day, right?
Yes, absolutely. today is the day that everybody agrees with me is that goals are important. They're going to be just as important tomorrow morning. Get up and write them down.
And before we leave, again, Smith is out today. Jamie Lopez, who's been our producer, we mentioned him earlier in the show as one of our Mi Amigos, but I want to give Jamie a little bit of airtime, if you will. So before we leave, Jamie, do you want to share one of your goals for 2021?
I'd keep them to myself for right now.
Oh, he's going to keep them to himself. So
no problem.
I try to give him some airtime, and he gives me that. I'm going to keep them to myself.
That's it's all good, man, because they're important to you. And listen, I'm at a point in my life where I'm happy throwing my pearls out there in front of the swine, right? I think that's a biblical verse that says, don't.
I think I do have one.
There we go.
Paying off one of my vehicles.
There you go.
There you go. See,
that's a great
goal.
That's a great
good goal.
That'll give you more freedom, man.
He'll do it.
It'll give you sleep better at night when you can do that. But anyway, I'm happy with saying that I want to clean up the ocean. I know that sounds crazy. But hey, You've had crazier ideas. I've had crazier ideas. I want to clean up the oceans, and I think that's a good thing. So I don't mind putting it out there. I can handle it. I can handle the hate. I can handle, I can handle the ridicule. It does not bother me. It really doesn't. It doesn't.
So,
now, if April sees it, she gets bothered. She can't take it. She can't. She will fight back. She's assertive, and I'm gonna fight back right now.
so I'll take 5 seconds to go. Thank you, April, for putting up with Billy all this time and then keeping him in check that he needs to. But seriously, dude, cheers to 2020 and to 2021.
Absolutely.
So cheers to you guys. Don't forget Billy Merritt presents 11 o'clock weekdays. So coming up on Monday, the Monday Morning Money Show. In the meantime, have a great New Year 2021. If you're going to be drinking this weekend or anytime, make sure that you're drinking responsibly and that you're not driving. So take care of yourself.
Come pick me up somebody come take me to lunch. Thank you.
So take care of yourself, and we'll see you next time.